Do come in, Mrs. Savage.
I trust you had a pleasant sleepless night?
Lovely, thank you. Not a wink. You just missed Hannibal's recital. I heard it. As a matter of fact, it's brought me out of my room. You wouldn't believe it, Mrs. Savage, but Hannibal hasn't played a violin until last year. What makes you think I don't believe it, my dear? Is it something you composed yourself, Hannibal?
Bach, with variations of my own.
Mathematicians also certainly are gay.
No, I don't quite follow that, Fairy.
Fairy knows I used to be a statistician.
Ah, thank you. Now I'm straight.
I was supposed to keep my finger in the pulse of the public and my ear to the ground.
A rather vulnerable position, was it not?
Very. I was fired and replaced by an electronic calculator.
I should think you'd hate electricity too.
No, but I did want to make money for rent, so I spent the next 2 years thinking of something that could be made for a dime, sold for $1. And it was a habit for me. I'm afraid my education has been wasted.
Give him a fraction and multiply.
I'm afraid I wouldn't know whether he was right or wrong. I'm gonna send John Thomas to Princeton. Their boys aren't very bright, but they're such gentlemen.
I'm sorry, Miss Savage. I do have a question to ask you.
Go ahead.
It's a personal question.
They're the only ones worth asking, my dear. Miss Willie says I used to be an actress once. We're bursting with curiosity. Is it true? Oh, that. Well, if being on stage makes you an actress, then I guess it's true.
Miss Willie, the bird Florence was talking about, said you had been on the New York stage.
Well, I wasn't there for long. If you were quick, you might have caught me in one of 2 plays. The first was Macbeth.
Oh, I love Macbeth! All that blood and gore. I sent some pins of my own blood to the Red Cross. They sent it back.
I would have guessed you made a novel departure as Lady Macbeth.
I can't tell you how much I agree with you, but they cast me as a witch.
Oh, but you'd be the perfect witch!
Thank
Please,
you.
speak some witch talk for us.
I didn't have any lines. If I did, it probably would have cost me twice as much.
But why did it cost you anything?
I backed the show. If I hadn't put up the money, I couldn't have played even the mute witch. But we made history. It was the first show that closed before the reviews came out. What a pity, weren't you discouraged? Bitterly. But man is by nature optimistic. If you weren't, he'd eat his young. So I decided I would write a play and star myself.
You wrote a play?
Indeed I did, with the courage born of ignorance and the plot out of wedlock.
I wonder if I've ever seen you before, Mrs. Savage.
Well, maybe. We didn't run it for long. I played the lead. Not Guilty, starring Ethel P. Savage.
What does the P stand for?
I haven't the faintest idea. My numerologist said I should have it in my name for good luck. And he was right. We ran a year. The play was about a mother who had murdered a man and was defended by a young woman lawyer who claims to be her own daughter. I had red hair and died in my daughter's arms every night and 2 matinees a week, just as the curtain closed and the jury whispered, not guilty. Oh, I've never had a better time in my life.
I gather the notices were good at the time?
Well, they were sincere, but that didn't make any difference. What did they say? The Times said I brought something new to the theater. They said that I had set it back 50 years, and it couldn't have possibly because I sold the plot from Madam X. That's only 40 years old.
What do you think they'd notice?
The Boston Post said that I took something else to the theater.
Money?
Really, Fairy, money isn't new.
What did the Wall Street say?
They said I had a tenacious mediocrity unhampered by taste.
But that wasn't good.
It was perfect. In our ads, we simply said tenacious and unhampered.
And you ran a year?
We'd have been running yet if my daughter hadn't come home and taken me. Oh, I know I was bad, and audiences only came to laugh at me. But what more could you ask for? I do miss it. Oh well, my turn is coming.
I don't think that was very nice of your daughter, Miss Savage. Oh, please don't do that, don't do that. Please, Miss Savage.
What's the matter,
Miss
Fairy?
Savage is going to read the newspaper.
Oh, what's the matter?
I wouldn't do that for you, Mrs. Savage. Please, you mustn't read it.
It'll only make you unhappy.
Now, just a moment. I know what the paper's going to say, so there's nothing you can do to hide from it. I've just been waiting for it to happen.
Waiting for what to happen, Mrs. Savage?
Why, what it says in the paper.
But we don't know what it says in the paper.
Then why are you trying to keep me from reading it?
We have an agreement.
We never read the newspaper until they're a month old.
What are you waiting for?
Why, naturally, we're waiting for... What are we waiting for, Hannibal?
Perspective.
Peace of mind.
Security.
We believe it's better to read about unpleasant things a month after they've happened.
It's reassuring when you know it's over and nothing can be done.
My dear people, I thank you all for wanting to try to keep me from reading it, but there's something in this paper that I want to know, and I want to know now, not next month. We're only trying to help you.
Yes.
Disaster is easier to digest once it's aged a little.
I know, but I've made my bet, and I want to know who's in it. We can't prevent Mrs. Savage from reading the paper if she insists. You don't know well enough to be rude.
Florence is right.
Well, Miss Savage, in that case, if you read anything terrible or awful, don't tell us.
No!
This is yesterday's paper. I want today's paper.
Oh, it isn't here yet.
When does it come?
I don't know.
Is there a radio here?
Oh, yes, right over there.
Maybe I can catch the news. Why didn't someone mention there was a radio here?
You didn't ask us.
This doesn't light up. Is something wrong with the set?
I don't think so. Of course it hasn't any tubes.
It hasn't any what?
Oh, tubes. Mrs. Patty likes to steal them. She uses electricity, you know.
But no one knows where she hides them.
Why didn't you say the set had no tubes?
You didn't ask us.
Oh dear, dear. How high is that wall?
Much too high.
Easily 10 chairs high.
And I suppose no one ever leaves that great gate open?
Oh, don't look beyond the garden, Mrs. Savage. There may be a better place somewhere, but if you give this up to search for it, you may not find it and lose what you have.
You'll get used to here after a while, Mrs. Savage.
Except for in the winter. The rooms do get a little cold.
We like you already.
It isn't that I don't find you all enchanting, but
Oh, please don't say anything mean.
We're going to Savage.
where?
It's garden hour. We each have a little pot to plant, and you can plant flowers or vegetables.
Last year I planted some bird seeds to see what would come up.
What did come up?
Nothing, but it was a good horticultural experience.
At the center, there's a beautiful evergreen at the center. During Christmas, it has lights to say, Merry Christmas, keep out!
Come, Mrs. Savage. I'll show you my delphiniums.
Oh no, please go on without me. I have some serious thinking to do. I'll just stay here.
But the buzzer has buzzed. One has to obey orders.
What are you doing, Miss Savage?
May I ask, what are you doing?
I believe I'm wearing carpet out evenly.
Oh, how prudent! We'll help you.
But don't you have to garden?
I find this more constructive.
We almost do our share.
Come, boys. Many feet make light work.
But I didn't mean to start a
Come down.
procession.
It's a refreshing change. Most women lead us in circles anyways.
Jack, you take the thorns. Hannibal, you can take the leaves. The rest of us will take the stems, and Miss Savage can have the petals. Oh, hi, Miss Willie. Do you know what we're doing?
Wearing out the carpet evenly?
Oh, someone told you.
Didn't I hear the garden buzzer go off?
I didn't. I think it's broken.
Fairy, aren't you ashamed?
Oh, I wish I had died.
I'm sorry, Miss Willie. This is my fault.
I didn't feel like gardening it anyhow.
But you work so hard with your flowers, Florence. Do you want them to die?
Anything could die.
Oh, that's so true. Whenever she sees a fly, she gets it and puts it on the windowsills. Flies adore her.
I think we better head out to the garden right now. Fairy, it's sugar season, Miss Savage. Run along now. Aren't you coming with them, Miss Savage?
I wanted to talk to you alone.
All right, what can I do for you?
A great deal. And it might be that I can do a great deal for you.
Are you about to offer me a bribe, Miss Savage?
How did you guess?
Everyone does that first.
Still, my offer's different. I have the money. I'll give you $20,000 to leave that door open tonight. 30,000.
But don't you like us?
That's the most irritating answer to a business offer, my dear. 40,000. You could be free of this place too.
But I don't want to be free of it.
50,000. You can go around the world, see Cairo, Mandalay, the South Pacific.
But I've seen Cairo, the Mandalay, and the South Pacific.
You have?
I had 4 years as an army nurse.
Still, you should be able to know what to do with $50,000.
Now where are you going to get $50,000 from? That's a fortune.
Never mind, I can get it. And in the current idiom, 50,000 is peanuts.
Oh, I believe you, but I'm not going to refuse.
You leave me no choice but to burn the place down.
Oh, you wouldn't do that.
Oh, yes, I would.
Too many people here wouldn't know how to save themselves. You think of them first.
If you think I belong here, why are you appealing to my reason?
I wasn't. I was appealing to your emotions.
Well, I'm going to get out of here soon enough. It's just that bribing you would have been cheaper. That'll cost me a couple of million at least.
Oh, good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, Miss Wilhelmina. Is Miss Savage upstairs?
She just went out this minute.
What's her state of mind this morning?
The usual pattern. Shuri offered me a bribe.
How much did she offer you?
The highest yet. 50,000. The poor dear.
Did she sound confident?
Definitely manic. She talks as she still controls her own affairs.
Apparently she does. Read this. I've just been on the phone with their children. They're practically out of their minds themselves. We can expect the judge from Boston here by tonight.
This is the most amazing story I ever read. When did they discover it?
I gathered this morning. They asked me to confine her to her room.
This has to be a mistake, right? A $10 million, a typographical error, right?
No, they have it all right.
What do you think she could have done with it?
I'm not sure. I mean, as her son says, God knows.
Do you think there's a method into her madness?
Miss Willie, I find it harder and harder every day to say exactly where reason ends and madness begins. For the moment, I must accept the presumptive evidence of her stepchildren.
I'll go get her. Miss Savage, would you come in, please? Dr. Emmett wants to see you. You're gonna place her in seclusion?
Of course not. But sometimes I do wish there was a way of placing relations in seclusion. They're always much more trouble than patients.
From what I've heard, her son runs any man in Congress a good run.
Certainly. And the sensationalism of her daughter's 6 divorces doesn't speak too well for her emotional stability either.
Did you want me, doctor?
Yes, Miss Wilhelmina, would you help out on the switchboard? Miriam has been deluged with calls from newspapers all morning.
Yes, doctor.
I think I know what you're going to tell me.
Do you?
I see you have papers. How long did you think it would take for them to find out?
So, you're aware of what you've done? And the consequences?
Oh, it's too early for consequences. May I see? Did my son call?
Oh, yes. We can expect all 3 of your children here by tonight.
Right. I'm not going anyplace.
How could you have possibly spent $10 million without someone knowing about it?
Who said I spent it?
That paper says you did.
Oh, what do they know? I couldn't have spent it. I hid it.
You hid it.
In nice $500,000 negotiable bonds that can't be traced.
Why?
I don't ask you what you do with your money, doctor.
Well, I'm afraid that your hidden treasure is going to prove a great disadvantage to you.
That's because you're a doctor, and doctors never know the value of money.
Do you want to know how long it would take me to earn $10 million, Mrs. Savage?
Oh, excuse me. I came back to get my violin. Framey wants me to play when she prints her sheets.
Just a moment, Hannibal. Could you tell me how long it would take the average doctor to earn $10 million?
Well, you'd have to start before Christ was born, and works to the reigning of Rome, up to the reigning of St. Jonas Arenilla, And that's enough, of course, time out for the Conquest Crusades in the 100 War, 30 War, and 70 War. So you'd have to work double time in the discovery of America, up to penicillin and bubblegum, and that's without deducting federal tax, state tax, school tax, city tax, luxury tax, amusement tax. So you'd had 100 years for that.
Thank you, Hannibal. It's a great deal to be responsible with Miss Savage.
Now, what's the doctor up to?
A bit of emotional blackmail, I suspect. Hannibal, would you care to look at me and know that I'm worth $10 million on the hoof?
Never. The human body only has 10% worth of calcium in it, and 5% worth of phosphorus, and 20% worth of iodine. And even at high prices, the human body is only worth $1.50.
So you only value me at $1.50?
Never. You said value. Your worth is inestimable.
Hannibal, I like you. I like you very much. You make me feel important. You make me feel like dancing.
Well, splendid. What should I play?
Anything.
I'm very good at the flight of the bumblebee.
Could anything be more appropriate? The bees come home and find the honey gone. Someone's gonna be stung. Play, Hannibal.